for example earthworm, all such worms are the ones which are living in the soil. So these can get very badly affected with the pollutants. So totally from the transport mode, if you are getting noise which is disturbing, then we call it as the transport noise. The inner ear can get damaged if of a particular frequency noise is continuously heard. Here what we have to do is, from the source where it is coming, we have to try to control that. We have to do some changes in the machinery so that the noise is less. Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 3 on the chapter environmental pollution. Till now we have studied about air pollution as well as water pollution. Today we will be learning about the soil pollution and noise pollution. Okay, so what is soil pollution? It can be defined as the contamination of soil by humans and natural activities which may cause harmful effects on living organisms. So undesirable change is happening to the soil here. So soil is getting contaminated with human and natural activities, and which will make the life of the living organism difficult. Then we call it as soil pollution. Okay, next is about the sources of soil pollution. There are different sources of soil pollution. You can see industrial waste, that is the waste which is coming from industries. If it is dumped on the land, okay, then it can cause soil pollution. It can be some chemicals from the industries, it can be radioactive substance, it can be metals which is there. So many different types of industrial wastes are there which can spoil the quality of the soil, and we call it as soil pollution. Next is the urban waste like plastic, glasses, metallic cans, fiber, paper, rubber. Again, these are the wastes which we call it as the urban waste, okay, which is contaminating the soil. Then we have agricultural practices like fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides which we are adding to the agricultural lands, directly goes into the soil itself, and it can spoil the quality of the soil, and it's cause of one of the major causes of soil pollution. Then we have the radioactive pollutants. It's from the nuclear power plants, or it can be from industrial waste as well, which is causing the pollution of the soil. Polymer, plastics and other water waste, that is the waste which is coming from the industries, again can cause soil pollution. You can see poor agricultural practices. If we have, the soil can get degraded and the crops cannot grow well. Improper solid waste management is again one of the reasons for soil pollution. Then again, unsafe storage of hazardous chemicals and nuclear waste also can lead to soil pollution. Then we have leachate from mismanaged landfills, that is whatever waste is there, we are going and dumping it on the land, and if it is not done in a proper way, then again the landfills which we are adding, that is the waste which we are adding, causes soil pollution. Also, uncontrolled dumping of the waste from household, industrial plant, mining, etc. are the major causes for soil pollution. Okay. So next we have the effects of soil pollution. What are the different effects which we can see from soil pollution? The pollutants affect and alter the chemical and biological properties of soil. So chemical composition as well as the biological composition. When I'm talking about biological composition, there are some microorganisms, some worms, some for example earthworm. All such worms are the ones which are living in the soil. So these can get very badly affected with the pollutants. Then we have, it alters the constitution of the soil, that is the fertility of the soil can be lost. Also, it causes waterlogging, that is excess of water can start becoming stagnant in one particular place, and it can again spoil the soil fertility. Okay, then causes biomagnification of toxic material through food chain. I'll explain what is biomagnification. Then again logging, then we have salination, micronutrient imbalance, and it can lose the fertility of the soil. Then we have mutation which can happen, changes in function of living beings, again biomagnification, cancer, infant mortality, all of this can increase due to soil pollution or contamination. Then the nitrates can cause cancer and blue baby syndrome in infants. So what is this blue baby syndrome? As I've already explained to you all, if the nitrate nitrate content is there more in the soil or in the plants what we are eating, or it can be from the water sources. Totally the pollution, whatever this pollutant of nitrate, if it goes into the baby, the baby starts turning blue. Okay, so that is called as the blue baby syndrome. And also, what is biomagnification? Now, biomagnification, for example, there is a particular pollutant which is non-biodegradable. It cannot be decomposed by microorganisms. So first it will enter into the food chain and it will go into the phytoplanktons and bacteria. These phytoplanktons are eaten up by zooplanktons and insects. Then again it goes to the small fishes and aquatic species. From there it goes to the predator fish. Then it goes to the birds and mammals, and that's how it reaches us human. And what happens is increasing mercury concentration. If for example mercury was the contaminant there, so you can see the concentration is going on increasing. Here in phytoplanktons, in many are there. Many phytoplanktons are eaten up by zooplanktons. Many zooplanktons are eaten up by small fishes. Small fishes, many are eaten up by predator fishes, and we'll have many predator fishes which are alone. So all of them is coming only into one person. So you can see the concentration as we go above in the tropic level, it is going on increasing. That's why biomagnification. In the ecological pyramid, there is magnification of the pollutant when it goes from one tropic level to the other tropic level is happening, and thus it can come and reach us human beings and causes so many problems, like it can be mutation, it can cause cancer, it can cause defects in the unborn baby. That is, when the mother gives birth to the child, it can be physically challenged or mentally challenged, etc. So these are the various effects of biomagnification, which is happening mainly because of water pollution and soil pollution. Okay, so that is biomagnification, one of the effects of soil pollution. Next is about the controlled measure which we have to take to prevent soil pollution. So reducing deforestation and substituting chemical manure with animal waste also helps to arrest soil erosion in long term. So soil erosion can be stopped by afforestation or prevent deforestation. Soil erosion can be controlled by a variety of forestry and farm practicing which we can do. Proper dumping of unwanted waste has to be done. Production of natural fertilizers, that is, we have to aim on biopesticides. That is, we have to use pesticides which are eco-friendly. Okay, organic fertilizers can be used so that again the pollution can be reduced. Also, proper hygiene conditions has to be taught so that the sanitary practices or the excreta, human excreta or the animal excreta is not dumped into the soil and it will not cause pollution. Recycling and reusing of waste. Then we call something as bio-augmentation. What is bio-augmentation? It is beneficial for treating the contaminants. Okay, the contaminants, how can it be treated? See, bio-augmentation is defined as use of certain bacteria for the degradation. So you have lot of contaminants with there. You are adding microorganisms on purpose so that the organic waste is decomposed faster. We call that as bio-augmentation. Okay, then we have bioremediation. That is another method to prevent soil pollution. What exactly it is? The organisms are used to remove the contaminants from the contaminated site. So we are using microorganisms for decomposition of waste or to remove the contaminants from the contaminated site. We call it as bio-augmentation and bioremediation. Okay, so these methods can be used so that the soil pollution can be controlled. Next we have noise pollution. The unwanted, unpleasant, the disagreeable sound that disturbs any living being, we call it as noise, and it is measured in decibels, and 1 decibel is the faintest sound that a human ear can hear. Okay, now going to the types of noise, there are 3 types of noise, that is industrial noise, transport noise and domestic noise, which when it becomes in excess becomes pollution. So what is industrial noise? Industrial noise is a sound which is caused by the industrial machines The sources of such noise can be from machines from various factories, industries, etc. Then we call it as the industrial noise. Then we have the transport noise. Transport noise is mainly consists of traffic noise from the roads, rails and aircrafts. So the number of vehicles which is there is continuously going on increasing because the population is increasing, and when we are honking continuously, that is the noise which can come. So it can be from the vehicle or because of the honking of the vehicles, or it can be from aircraft, or it can be from railways, etc. So totally from the transport mode, if you are getting noise which is disturbing, then we call it as the transport noise. Next is about the domestic noise. This type of noise includes the disturbance from household gadgets and community. That can be common sources like musical instruments, TV, VCR, radios, transistors, loudspeakers, telephones, etc. For all the equipments or the gadgets what we're using at home, from that if there is a lot of noise which is coming out, then we call it as the domestic noise. Okay. So how can noise pollution affect us? If you see the effects, we have drastic effects which is there. We'll see the first one, contraction of the blood vessels. The blood vessels in our body can start contracting and the BP variation can be there. Making skin pale, okay, when there is lot of noise. Then excessive adrenaline in the blood stream, which is responsible for high blood pressure. Noise can cause high blood pressure because of the excessive adrenaline which is produced in our body because of the noise. Okay. Then blaring sounds are known to cause mental distress. Also heart attack, neurological problem, birth defects and abortion also can happen if there is an excess of noise pollution which is happening. Muscle contraction leading to nervous breakdowns and tension also can happen because of the noise. So you can see how bad noise can be on, especially on children or pregnant ladies, or it can be even elderly people. There are some more effects of noise pollution. Prolonged exposure to the noise of a certain frequency can damage the inner ear. Okay, that is, the inner ear can get damaged. Now again, of certain frequency, if it is heard by humans, it can also cause psychological and pathological disorders. Ultrasonic sounds, if it is heard, we can get digestive disorders, respiratory disorders, heart attacks or nervous problems, and also it can cause inner ear damage. Okay. The brain is adversely affected when there is a sudden and a loud noise of jets and airplanes. People are subjected to psychiatric illness as well. And the optic system, that is the eye, what is there, that is called as the optic system of human, and that also can be impaired with the noise. That is, there can be pupillary dilation, impairment of night vision and decrease in rate of color perception can be there, or that is the defects which can happen to the optic system or the eyes also can happen because of the noise pollution. Okay. Next is about the control measures. How can we control noise pollution? What is it that we can do to control noise pollution? First is the source control. Here what we have to do is, from the source where it is coming, we have to try to control that. We have to do some changes in the machinery so that the noise is less, and also the design changes can be done, the limiting the operational timings can be done, etc. so that the source from which it is coming can be reduced. Next is the transmission path intervention, includes containing the source inside the sound insulated enclosure, constructing a noise barrier and provision of the sound absorbing material in the path. So what we can do is, when we know that there is a noise which is coming a lot from a machinery, it can be working in a soundproof room. Okay, or we can tell there should be some material which is used which will absorb the noise. Okay, and thus the noise pollution for outside will not be there. Then receptor control. This includes protection of the receiver by altering the work schedule or provision of the personal protection devices such as earplugs for operating noisy machinery, and the measure may include dissipation and deflection methods as well. Okay. Last is oiling. Proper oiling will reduce noise from the machines. So this is how we can control some of the noise which is coming especially from the industrial noise pollution. Okay, so that's about the control measures. Then preventive measures, what we can take. Okay, prescribing the noise limit for vehicular traffics, that is the traffic's vehicles which is coming to the traffic. What is the noise which is coming from them? For that there should be a limit. Next, ban on honking, usage of horns in certain areas like near hospitals, near educational institute. Horning or honking has to be banned completely, or honking in the traffic signal also should be banned. Then creation of silent zone near schools and hospitals, redesigning buildings to make them noise proof, reduction of traffic density in the residential area, and giving preference to mass public transport system. So these are some of the preventive measures which we can take to stop noise pollution. Okay, so I hope you have understood about soil pollution as well as noise pollution. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.